It's about time you woke up. Listen, I want to make you an offer. In one hand, I have a blue pill. Take this pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you reject modernity, and return to monkey. You didn't even wait for me to finish. Black Myth: Wukong is a 2024 video game developed by Chinese studio Game Science. It has achieved massive success with 2.2 million people playing the game on Steam in the first 24 hours, surpassing the peaks of both Elden Ring and Cyberpunk 2077. Everyone is either playing it or talking about it, and honestly I'm no exception. Now, full disclosure, this game isn't part of my backlog, so putting hours into it isn't making any progress on shrinking that list. But that's okay. There's a deeper conversation there about having a healthy relationship with your gaming backlog and not letting it control you, but I might save that for a future video. Now, if you haven't played through the game yet, that's okay. I'm not going to spoil any of the major story elements. I won't even use any footage past chapter 3. This video is simply to discuss why I believe Black Myth: Wukong is incredibly important as the first major AAA gaming export for China. What makes Black Myth: Wukong stand out for me and initially attracted me is its basis in Journey to the West, a 16th century Chinese classic whose cultural impact in the East cannot be overstated. It's hard to find a Western equivalent. Homer's Odyssey might come close, being a foundational epic of perilous journeys, but it doesn't permeate our culture as Journey to the West does. Shakespeare's works like Romeo and Juliet or Hamlet are globally influential, but are more tied to high culture than everyday life. Even the Bible, with its universal recognition in the West, primarily serves as a religious text. Journey to the West combines religious, moral, and folkloric elements in a way that makes it a unique cultural cornerstone that doesn't just educate and spiritualize, but it also entertains. In China, Journey to the West is more than a story. It's a cultural touchstone influencing language, idioms, religion, pop culture, and national identity. Black Myth: Wukong taps into this deep cultural reservoir, offering Chinese gamers not just a game, but a chance to see one of their most beloved stories brought to life on the world stage. Black Myth: Wukong arrives at a moment when global audiences are increasingly eager to experience narratives outside the traditional Western canon. The gaming landscape is evolving, with players worldwide showing a growing interest in stories that reflect diverse cultural backgrounds and historical contexts. Black Myth: Wukong emerges as a perfect example of this trend, offering a fresh, uniquely Chinese perspective in a genre that has been predominantly influenced by Western myth and legends. Beyond the genre itself, there's a broader trend at play: the increasing interest in non-Western narratives. Games like Ghost of Tsushima have shown that audiences are eager to explore stories set in different cultural contexts, proving that there is a significant market for narratives that break away from the traditional Western mold. Black Myth: Wukong, with its roots in one of China's most beloved myths, taps into this trend, offering players a glimpse into a world rich with history and meaning that many in the West might not be familiar with. The rising interest in non-Western narratives not only enriches the diversity of stories told in games, but also intersects with the growing popularity of a specific genre: Souls-likes. Regardless of what the developers say, Black Myth: Wukong bears all the hallmarks of a Souls-like. High difficulty? Check. Limited healing? Check. Environmental storytelling in a dark fantasy setting? Check and check. Bonfire-like checkpoint system that resting at resets enemies in the world? Absolutely check. For these reasons, I comfortably categorize it alongside games like last year's Lies of P. If I had a nickel for every Souls-like video game from an East Asian, but not Japanese, game developer that was their first big project based on a dark interpretation of classic literature, I'd have 2 nickels.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
But what truly sets Black Myth: Wukong apart is how it brings a non-Western classic to the forefront. While many Western players are familiar with the story of Pinocchio, they may be far less familiar with Journey to the West, allowing Black Myth: Wukong to offer something truly unique in a landscape of Souls-like games. Here's the thing though, Black Myth: Wukong isn't the only game inspired by Journey to the West. Enslaved: Odyssey to the West, a 2010 game developed by Ninja Theory, takes a creative approach to the source material. Set in a post-apocalyptic New York City, the game features characters like Monkey and Trip, who draw from Sun Wukong and Tripitaka respectively. It incorporates elements from the original novel such as the Golden Headband, reimagined as the Slave Headband, but doesn't retell the original story. The gameplay relationship between Monkey and Trip is inspired by Eco, with Monkey being strong enough to take down enemies, but Trip useful to get past certain obstacles, creating a symbiotic relationship between them. Despite positive reviews, Enslaved didn't perform well financially, and the planned sequel was unfortunately scrapped. What makes Black Myth: Wukong truly special is that it represents an authentically Chinese perspective on the classic story. Unlike Ninja Theory, which is based in the UK and approached the tale from a Western viewpoint, Black Myth: Wukong is crafted by a Chinese team deeply familiar with the source material. This authentic representation sets it apart in a landscape where foreign interpretations have often dominated. But for all this talk of Journey to the West, what exactly is it? Journey to the West is a slightly embellished retelling of the pilgrimage undertaken by the Buddhist monk Xuanzang, who travelled to India in the 7th century to seek out and collect Buddhist scriptures. The story of Journey to the West, though, mixes in a generous amount of fantastical folklore elements, meaning it's not just a simple historical retelling. The Buddha gives the monk, now dubbed Tripitaka, the daunting task of journeying westward to India. He is accompanied by 3 protectors who agree to help in order to atone for their sins. Sun Wukong, the mischievous Monkey King, Zhu Baji, or Pixie, a gluttonous pig demon, and Sha Wujing, aka Sandy, the morose river ogre. Together, they journey westward, facing all manner of bizarre creatures, demons, and hijinks. What many people may not be familiar with, though, is that despite Sun Wukong being by far the most influential character of the story, it's the monk Tripitaka who is the main focal character for most of the novel. To go into more detail about the journey itself would likely take hours, and it's ultimately not the purpose of this video. But the thing is, if you're not familiar with Journey to the West at all, you're wrong. Yes, you actually are. Journey to the West has had an incredible influence across not just China, but all of East Asia, and because of this is referenced constantly in anime and manga. Getting the most obvious one out of the way first, many of you are probably already aware of the childhood-defining anime famously inspired by Journey to the West, Inuyasha. That's a joke. Obviously I'm talking about Dragon Ball. Though Inuyasha does borrow heavily from Journey to the West. Dragon Ball is an 80s manga and anime series centering on Son Goku, a powerful and mischievous monkey boy. Son Goku is the Japanese name for Sun Wukong, and couple him with his flying nimbus and power pole and you have a character heavily drawing from the Monkey King himself. Bulma is Tripitaka, continuing a pretty common trend of gender flipping the Buddhist monk. Pixie is Oolong, a lustful glutton with the ability to transform. Yamcha is Sandy, the straight man of the group. Going even further, the Ox Demon King is the Bull Demon King, ruling over Fire Mountain. Sun Wukong was born from heaven and earth and erupted from a stone. The whole trope of villains being defeated and becoming allies. Dragon Ball might be the clearest take on Journey to the West, though the influence of the novel can be seen far more anime than just this. Four Tails is a tailed beast in Naruto based partially on Sun Wukong. He has the title Great Sage equaling heaven like the Monkey King, horns modelled after Wukong's headband, and was sealed in a giant stone the same way Sun Wukong was sealed. In One Piece, Luffy has the last name Monkey coming from the Monkey King. The story has our heroes travelling to a treasure of an unknown location, starting off with few but quickly growing their roster. It goes further than that though. Gokudo is a Metabot in the series of the same name whose design is directly inspired by Sun Wukong, golden headband and all. In My Hero Academia, Loud Cloud was a student hero with the ability to generate clouds that he can stand on and battles with a quarterstaff. In Hunter x Hunter, Sayu is a blacklist hunter with the codename Monkey. In Jujutsu Kaisen, Toji references Sun Wukong and Gojo the Buddha, mirroring the fact that the only one to put Sun Wukong in his place is the Buddha himself. Tamari's fan in Naruto creates strong gusts of winds like the Bansho fan. In Digimon, Gokumon, Chohaikomon, Seijumon and Sanzumon all reference the main characters of Journey to the West, and I didn't even mention God of High School. It just keeps going. It's all Journey to the West, all the way down. Not an anime, but when researching Enslaved Odyssey to the West, I found out Ninja Theory did a 2003 3D fighting party game called Kung Fu Chaos before they changed the name from just Add Monsters. And look, it's just Sun Wukong again. I learned this, now you have to as well. To learn more, I would highly recommend you go watch Overly Sarcastic Productions' ongoing video series on Journey to the West. I'll link their channel in the description. Their retelling is as entertaining as it is educational and does a fantastic job of making the story more accessible.
Which is why it might come as a surprise to learn that he isn't the main character in the Journey to the West. That honor belongs to the monk Xuanzang, a character so vital to the plot that we don't even know he exists for the first 7 chapters.
And the comments under their first Journey to the West video reinforce what I was saying before. People who have been playing Black Myth Wukong have come to learn more about the source material. There is clearly an appetite for Western audiences to interact with and learn about culturally significant stories. The fact that this AAA video game coming out from China has clearly inspired so many people to learn about Sun Wukong and Journey to the West ought to be celebrated. But while Journey to the West has left its mark on media worldwide, its significance in China is on an entirely different level. This is a story that's been told, retold, and celebrated for centuries, woven into the very fabric of Chinese culture. To truly understand the impact of Black Myth Wukong, we need to recognize how deeply rooted Journey to the West is in the Chinese cultural consciousness. For Chinese gamers, seeing this beloved story brought to life in a high-budget, cutting-edge game isn't just exciting, it's a powerful moment of representation. Crafted by Chinese developers, the game carries an authenticity that resonates deeply, and its worldwide success is a clear sign that their stories are finally being celebrated on a global stage. In a way, due to the success of the game, Sun Wukong has made another Journey to the West, increasing the knowledge and familiarity of the Chinese classic worldwide. I'll leave you with this quote from a Chinese commenter on the Black Myth Wukong trailer. "You have been a silent assassin in Damascus, a witcher in Kaer Morhen, an outlaw in the American West, the Dragonborn in Skyrim, escaped from a zombie siege in Raccoon City, enkindled the flame in Lordran, became the wolf of Ashina, gazed up at the Erd tree in the lands between, and struggled to become the legend in Night City. Finally, you return home to be a hero of your own. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, remember to like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Black Myth Wukong has had a stranglehold on my mind since it released, so I'm glad I could share it with you guys. If you're playing Black Myth Wukong, leave a comment down below about what your favourite part is so far. Have yourselves a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.